Hi, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Welcome to your love and romance reading for May 2020. Those of you new to the channel, these are monthly love readings. Every single week, I do a forecast that excludes love, all the other areas of life. Once a month, I will do a love reading. So that's what this is. Welcome, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. We do have a full moon in Scorpio this month. And as a Scorpio, I can tell you, full moon in Scorpio can be kind of intense for us. So emotions might be running high for Scorpios in May. Okay, I'm just gonna put that out there, but we're gonna see what the cards have to say and what's coming up for you guys. This is a really beautiful deck. I'm excited to use it. It's by an indie artist. And I am actually giving away a whole new set. So I'll talk about it at the end. If you're into card decks, stick around at the end and I'll talk about the giveaway. But my dears, love and romance. Oh, how very beautiful. Here we have Queen of Coins. And it's interesting because we're in Taurus season right now. And Queen of Coins makes me think of feminine Taurus energy. Now, obviously, this could be any earth sign. It could be Capricorn, it could be Virgo, but just for me as a reader, I tend to associate her with Taurus feminine energy. So for this reason, having this come up at the foundation makes me feel like Taurus season is going to really be impacting Scorpios pretty heavily, right? If you have a Taurus moon or if you've got Taurus in your chart somewhere, you might really be feeling a lot of intense feelings around stability and security. Also about home. I feel Scorpio, when you're looking at love and like love life, you're thinking more about the home environment. How is this person going to fit into like my chill time, my downtime? You're looking at like companionship. You know, like how are you going to feel hanging out with this person? I feel what you're looking for in a person for a lot of you is changing as a result. Those of you that you're in a relationship and it's been kind of stale, or maybe quarantine has you guys bickering and like snapping at each other, you know, whatever the case, if you're in a relationship, the solution, when I see Queen of Coins, the solution to fixing the relationship is going to be creating a sense of home, right? Taking the house or the apartment and turning it into home through, you know, comfortable place to lounge, comfortable place to kick it, good music, good food, good sex, you know, all that good stuff. So, you know, kind of coming back to the basics, coming back to the physical needs and the physical necessity is going to bring about a sense of bonding for a lot of you. Okay. As far as the energy here with Queen of Coins, it's also going to be talking about her finances. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not a master astrologer, but from what I have read, if I'm interpreting it correctly, for Scorpios, money can become an issue in love life in the month of May because of the retrograde and because of the planetary placements. So there may be a little bit of like this is mine, this is yours kind of energy. You know, this is what I'm bringing in, what are you bringing in? It's good to discuss these things and it's good to set boundaries, but, you know, like everything else, don't let it run away from you. Don't let it become like more of an ordeal than it needs to be. But there could be discussions around finances. And a lot of you are looking at your relationship in terms of how it's affecting your finances. So some of you might be having a conversation with a partner about, you know, how you want them to step up, or some goal that you might have, and you might be hoping that they're gonna like support you or encourage you or be okay with it. There could be this whole kind of sense of home, security, finances, money. This can be a big part of the conversation in an existing relationship. Those of you that are single, this is your approach and what you're looking for in a partner in May. You're wanting a sense of home, a sense of stability. You're thinking about the long term. You're not thinking about the, oh, let me just play around and have fun. I feel like some of you are just really longing for companionship. Your next card here is the Seven of Cups. And so when the Seven of Cups comes up, it can indicate that there's an energy coming up here where you're going to have to choose, where you're going to have many options. You might all of a sudden feel like people are gravitating towards you, or you went from tumbleweeds and crickets, like nothing going on, to all of a sudden a bunch of people coming at you. Now, Scorpio, I'm not being negative here. I'm not being negative here. But it has to be said, as I'm doing the reading, those of you that you follow my readings and you've heard me talk about how I read, any outside distraction that comes into my reading while I'm reading, I take it as a message from Spirit. Okay? And I shouldn't say unfortunately, but right now it's almost 5:55 a.m. It's 5:54. So we're very close to 5:55. When we have the repeating fives, it talks about karma. It talks about changes. It talks about big shifts. And at this moment, I am inside. I'm indoors, but I can smell very strongly from outside. I can smell a skunk. I smell it so strong as I'm doing your reading. So it's really close to 5:55. I'm smelling the skunk really strong. And for me, that is a sign or a message that somebody's showing their colors. Somebody's not able to hide anymore what they've been keeping in or holding in. So you're going to see the true colors of a person. And some of the colors might not be what you like to see. If you have been dating someone, then this person, maybe if there's anything they've been holding from you or keeping from you, it's going to come out in a very big way. And you're going to have to make a decision if you want to stay or not, or figure out how you want to handle it. Those of you where you have somebody new coming in, somebody might really, really be into you, Scorpio. They might really, really like you a lot. Like the Pepe Le Pew, like chasing after you very persistently, very aggressively. But there might be like, hey, Scorpio, I really like you, so I'm just going to be super honest with you. I'm going to put all my baggage on the table up front. I'm just going to let you know from the beginning, here's all my stuff. I hope you'll be cool with it. I hope that we can, develop a relationship, but here's all my stuff. So somebody might be unpacking something very heavy in front of you, but understand and know it's because they respect you. They don't want you to feel like they lied to you, and they don't want to get all attached and then have it come up and then you be like, you know what, no thank you. So just smelling that skunk makes me feel, for some of you, there might be a very big truth that is revealed pretty quickly. Seven of Cups for other ones of you. It could be that there's things that you've been pursuing that you're beginning to see the truth of what they are. And you're like, it's not worth my time anymore. So there may be some adjusting in that way. But I do feel that a lot of you are going to have to pick between multiple options. And those of you where you're having to pick between multiple options, it's especially frustrating because I feel there's been nothing going on for a long time. And now all of a sudden you have all these choices or options. I also feel, Scorpio, with the Seven of Cups, and then we'll move on. I feel with the Seven of Cups, Scorpio, for a lot of you, you're second guessing what you wanted in a relationship. There's like a significant relationship that's coming in, or the chance for a very significant relationship coming in, and it's making you second guess. Like maybe you said you didn't want kids, and now you're like, well, wait a minute, maybe I do. Or vice versa. Maybe all you wanted to do was find somebody and settle down and have a family, and now you're like, but do I really want to have kids? And you know, do I just want companionship, or do I want to get married? Do I want to travel? Do I want to focus on business? Like, so some of you are redefining what you want out of a relationship. And you're having to get clear about this, because I do feel for some of you, it's like when the relationship comes in, you weren't really expecting it to happen. You had already just been like, I'm just going to be single. I'm just going to live my life. And now that it's actually here, you're like, wait a minute. I've got to think about some stuff that I really haven't thought about in a long time. What do I want from this person? And I feel the reason why you're having to think about it is I feel like this person's asking you. Like, Scorpio, what would you like? Or like, what are you looking for? Or, you know, what can I do to make you happy? And you're like, oh, well, that's a good question. Wow, I'm not used to people asking me that. So you have a lot to think about in that way. And it can feel a little bit overwhelming, but it's a good overwhelming. Your next card, my dears, is, ooh, Ace of Wands. So this is a new opportunity coming in. And it makes sense that this card is coming up, because another thing from what I have read and my understanding, because of the planetary placements, Scorpio, a lot of us are going to have like an increase in our physical energy. And for some of us, this is going to translate into, you know, those physical urges. So some relationship might get kind of really hot and heavy. Okay, now I'm just gonna say practice care and practice caution. You know, I'm one of those people. I think it's really great to be careful. I think it's really great to use protection, especially if this is somebody that, you know, you're just barely getting to know. And you know, you just, you know, you want to be safe. You want to keep it safe. Especially if you're not like looking to have babies anytime soon. If you're capable of having children, then you absolutely want to be cautious if this is not a good time for that to happen for you. Some of you though, Scorpio, I feel like you're feeling this intuitive feeling, like even though you have this urge, even though you have this desire, you're telling yourself, you know what, I don't want to run away with these feelings. Like some of you are trying really hard to practice restraint. There's something in the image here, because even though it's like it's the wands, right? It's kind of like it's planted, right? And the way that this lizard is kind of towards the side of it, like I just feel there's a certain degree of caution. Like, yes, I have this opportunity, but I'm going to be cautious how I step into it. I'm going to be, you know, or this little dragon here, you know, lizard or dragon, you're like, what do I want to do with this? Like, how am I going to approach this? What am I going to do? Because I feel like you have this concern, or you have this worry that if you give into the physical aspect, you're not going to make good decisions, or you're not going to make good choices. So I feel some of you are struggling in this way. You might have a very intense desire to be with this person, but because you've learned from past mistakes, you're like, oh gosh, like let me not get all caught up in that, you know? Because that's one thing about Scorpios. You know, Scorpios have this reputation, you know, people stereotype Scorpio as being, you know, really physical and being really wild and being really passionate and being really adventurous. But they don't understand that Scorpio, even though Scorpio can have that depth and can have that really extreme intensity, you know, they're not going to be that way with everybody. They're not. Like they need to feel close. They need to feel connected. And in the past, maybe you've gotten really connected, right? And you've had that intensity, but you've been like, wow, this person's more of a karmic. Or wow, this person just, you know, we're really connected on a soul level, but in this life, we're not aligned with what we want. And because you have such a desire for a sense of home, a sense of companionship, you're like, let me just try to work on establishing this stuff before I get into the physical and get all carried away with that. So I really feel, Scorpio, like you're taking a different approach. And some of you are feeling like abstinence is going to be a good way to go. You know, all I can tell you is listen to your intuition. Listen to what you're feeling. If you're feeling like you don't want to give into that right now, you know, you should listen to it, right? You should listen to it if your intuition is telling you to wait a little bit, to establish other aspects of the relationship. Because I think for some of you Scorpios, this is going to be crucial to this relationship succeeding. Some of you may even have something happening where Spirit's already helping you with this, and that you know, maybe you're taking the quarantine situation very seriously and you're like, I'm just gonna be super safe and not be with this person in physical contact until all of this passes. Or maybe for some of you, this is someone who there's like a long distance kind of situation, so you can't do that stuff anyway. But I feel like the lesson for Scorpio when it comes to love in May is establishing that companionship connection, that emotional connection, a sense of, you know, somebody that you can just really relax with, and like somebody you can just really talk to, and just that close connection, that close vibe. The physical chemistry will be there. It's not going to be an issue. But I feel like, you know, that it's kind of being postponed to allow you all to establish these other aspects between the two of you. The A is really jumping out at me for some reason. It's very interesting. I don't know why. It's really jumping out at me. So maybe for some of you, this person's name begins with an A or has a strong A in it. That's very interesting. It just jumped out at me for some reason. All right, your next card here is the Eight of Wands, and this is passion, my dears. This is fire. This is like you're wanting this person and they're wanting you. I feel some of this also might be Scorpio, where there's going to be some discussion and conversation, and I feel this is a part of the unpacking. This is a part of the unpacking that's happening. I feel some of you, and don't get mad at me, but I feel some of you are having someone come in that's really great in a lot of ways, but I just feel like they might have very particular physical fantasies or physical desires, right? And they might feel, and they might even like that you're a Scorpio, because they might think that you're going to be more open-minded or more adventurous. I will say this, I'm not getting a vibe of anything like dark or painful or scary, or illegal, or even I don't know. I don't know if I can say immoral, but I'm not getting anything in terms of like anything dark or evil or scary. And I'm not getting the vibe of anything that we would consider illegal. Okay. But I do feel this person might have some really freaky things that they're into. And I feel, Scorpio, to be honest, I feel like for some of you, these are things that maybe you've also thought about, or there's a part of you that also thinks, hey, you know, that might be kind of hot. But you're going to have to make a decision. Do I really want to do that in real life? Like, do I, you know, because there's some things that might cross your mind and you might be like, oh yeah, that sounds hot. You may even like fantasize about something. But when it comes down to actually doing it, that's like a whole nother, you know, thing. Again, I really want to emphasize, I don't get the feeling that any of this stuff is like violent or scary or anything that would be against the law. I don't feel that. But I do feel some of this stuff might be quite adventurous and things that you haven't done. And you might have to think about, do I really want to do this with this person? And this might be one of the reasons why some of you are saying, you know, that you're not going to be intimate with this person, because you feel like there's a lot of fire. You feel like there's a lot of passion. You feel like there's a potential to really get carried away here. And or like things really escalating very quickly. And you're like, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole unless I really know that I'm going to be with this person, or unless I really know that I want to be with this person. So some of you are just pumping the brakes here. You're slowing it down because there might be a lot of like a strong physical connection here. And so, you know, you're just trying to decide where your limit is. Honestly, I just think a lot of you are having to face that whole element, that whole aspect of yourself, that whole aspect of your love life. Your next card here is the Seven of Wands. So Scorpio, some of you are having to set some boundaries here. Okay, you're gonna have to be strong, because I feel like this person is gonna push a lot. And I feel a lot of this is, again, that you are going to be in the energy of slowing some things down physically. You know, having some rules. Like, here's what I'm cool with. Here's what I'm not cool with. Here's some stuff that are an absolute no. Here's some stuff that are like a maybe, let me think about it. You know, but you're going to have to set some boundaries. And I feel, Scorpio, for a lot of you, this is like the lesson. This is what you're meant to do. Like, you're meant to take the stand. You're meant to take a stand in this way, and like having ownership of your body and having ownership of what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. Now, there's something very interesting here that's jumping out at me about this deck. And this is one of the reasons why I really love this artist and why I wanted to use his cards. He has so many really cool symbols and images. And if you're somebody that likes to practice reading intuitively, there's just so much that'll jump out at you. So let me tell you what's jumping out at me here in the messages that I'm getting from this card. Number one, I do feel something with this whole reptile situation here. Something about it feels very feminine to me. Something about the eye, the nails here, they're claws like mine, you know, the eye, the nails. So I feel whoever the feminine is in the relationship, and it doesn't matter if you identify as male or female, or if the person you're with identifies as male or female, or what their, you know, body parts are. Whoever is the feminine in the relationship, the feminine person in the relationship, is the one that's having to take the stand, okay? And the one who's having to really take ownership of their body and their passion. And the feminine in the relationship is setting the tone of how things are going to move forward physically. Secondly, these coins are really jumping out at me, right? And these looks like drinking vessels or like wine glasses. So you're trying not to get too carried away or to lose your senses. And I also feel like you're setting boundaries in terms of your finances, or the feminine is. The feminine in the situation might be in a really good place financially, and they might have concerns. Is this person trying to seduce me? Is this person trying to, you know, come into my life and get stuff out of me? They might even be trying to make sure that, you or the other person, or, you might be trying to make sure that the other person doesn't have like a substance abuse issue or drinking issue. There could be questions here around drinking. Somebody might feel like the other is drinking too much, okay? And they might have concerns on how this is going to affect things financially. Like, I've worked really hard for my money. I'm not going to have somebody come in and drink it away. I feel some of you have that fear. Now, I want to clarify that this is a fear. It might not be the case at all, right? But you're standing your ground and you're setting your rules. I also feel here with all these people here, like in this cave, I feel like this person that you're dealing with wants to prove to you that you don't have to be concerned about these things. That they're not after your money. They're not going to drink it away. even if they had a past with partying or something, it's under control now. And so all these little people here is, I feel like they're wanting to offer up all these character witnesses. Like, here's all the people in my life. I want you to meet these people. I want you to meet these people. And I want you to get an idea of like my friends in my life, and they can vouch for me. I do feel, though, Scorpio, that you might feel like they're looking at you like you're all hoity-toity, or you think you're all fancy or something. So there might be some kind of like, like hesitation about, getting into this person's life or meeting their friends. Because I feel like it's happening kind of quickly, maybe more quicker than you would like, because Scorpios like to have their space, and Scorpios, aren't necessarily super extroverted where they're going to want to like, jump in. I guess it depends on your placements too, though. But, Scorpios like to have their little layer. So it just kind of feels to me like you feel like these people are coming into your lair, these people are coming into your life, and you're just like, I like my little, cozy place. So I don't like, there's just this feeling of the worlds, your world and their world beginning to merge. May make you just a little bit defensive, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a growing experience. It's getting used to people coming in. I do feel, though, that the people in this person's life are speaking very, very highly of this person. Like, they're telling you, like, oh, like, they're going to be such a great partner, and they've got such a great heart, and they're such a great person. And I do feel these people are being honest. I don't think they have anything to gain, by telling you that. I think they just really care about their friend, and they want their friend to be happy. And they know how much this person's really into you. So I just feel like you're going to hear a lot about this person. I do feel, though, that you're going to also have to set boundaries to some degree in the relationship fairly early on, about like how often you're hanging out with these friends or these buddies, because this person might be kind of inseparable with them. They're not bad people, right? But this person might be more of an extrovert, or this person might be someone who really needs a lot of company and is used to like, like that's their little crowd, that's their little, tribe. And you're like, dude, like, I can't be around so many people all the time. Like, I'll hang out with them sometimes, but can we just chill and have our little domain and have our little home, have our little, so I do feel that's like another area in which you're like kind of setting boundaries as well. So it is a general reading. It will be different for different ones of you, obviously. I encourage you to watch your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks they may resonate more than others, or some months. You may need to get a private reading, which you can schedule with me through Calendly. But if you want more of like a planetary breakdown, like an astrological breakdown with astrology, I do have a link in the description with a discount code to a site that gave me a reading that really impressed me. So they offered to give you guys unlimited 30% off, as many reports as you want to get, relationship compatibility analysis, all that good stuff. So that's linked in the description. And if you guys would like a private reading, you can schedule with me through Calendly. I'm just not an astrologer. I don't want to give you wrong information in terms of astrology. But if you want to check out the site that's offered to sponsor the channel and receive the 30% off, you can do that there. And my dears, don't forget, every single week on Instagram and Facebook, every single day on Instagram and Facebook, I post a daily card of the day. And that's how you can actually enter to win this deck, is I'm going to pick one person from the comments in May. and then send out, you know, whoever I pick, send them the little bundle, the tarot bag, the altar cloth, the deck of cards that Mr. Marchetti put together. It's very beautiful, and there's a picture on the site too if you want to go check it out. But I'm gonna pick somebody from the giveaway from there. And don't forget, guys, the weekly forecasts. Every single week I post everything other than love. Check that out as well. I thank you guys so much for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Have a wonderful, wonderful May, my dears.